3:10 p.m. As Sid got home from school, he turned on the television to watch some rock bands. As he switched through the channels, he noticed another news report on television. This one, in particular, was different. This just in, a female doll has broken into an apartment and presumably murdered many people inside. If you see a devilish doll, notify all authorities if you can, the female reporter said. Sid's face grew into shock. This calls for another mystery, Sid said with a determined look on his face. 7:50 p.m. Sid had skated downtown to find any sightings of an unknown ragdoll. After that encounter with Woody, he thought he might be up to no good again. Sid looked around for an apartment while standing on the dark, empty road. After a while of looking, he found a tall 23-story penthouse. This must be it, Sid whispered, rubbing his chin, before he skated onto the entrance. As Sid got to the door, he noticed a sign reading, "No children allowed." What kind of bozos put up a sign like that? He questioned in offense. Sid stepped inside and found the elevator. Hello? Is anybody here? Or upstairs? Sid asked, shining his flashlight around. After a while of looking around, he noticed a green soldier on one of the broken benches. Aha! Another to keep safe into my collection, Sid whispered, smirking. He put the soldier into his backpack and entered the elevator. In the elevator, Sid hovered his finger over one of the buttons. He saw many numbers until he decided to press the highest number, 23. Let's see what's up here, Sid wondered. He pressed the number and the elevator went up. As he reached the floor, and the elevator doors opened, he noticed a puddle of liquid on the floor. Sid became confused. He crouched down to touch the liquid and sniff it. Once he sniffed the liquid, he flinched in disgust, sticking out his tongue. "Oh God, that smells nasty!" Sid groaned. He looked across. He noticed that puddle was trailing to another room. Sid opened the door. Once he opened it, he could not believe his eyes. His eyes were focused on a shattered bottle of wine, to which the liquid came from, and at the worst moment, he saw a deceased obese man lying on the couch. Sid gasped in shock. "Oh my God, this is messed up!" he whispered. Sid dropped his flashlight in horror. However, he put on a brave and determined face to conquer his littleophobia and fight back. Sid picked up his flashlight to shine it around the living room. He shone it on the floor to find more army men and found one in the broken bottle. Sid carefully put his hand through to not accidentally cut himself, trying to get the army soldier, and he succeeded. That was easy, he muttered quietly. Sid then went to look through another door, which led to a train-themed bedroom. Whose bedroom could have been this? Pondered Sid. He shone his flashlight around before finding another soldier on top of the bed. Sid crawled onto the bed, stood on a train track, and reached for the army soldier. As he was about to grab him, there was the sound of a creaking cupboard door. This disturbed Sid and worried him, but he managed to grab the third soldier off the bed top. He put him in his backpack for clues and inspection. Sid then stepped off the train track to find another room to explore. He found a nearby door next to a living room and opened it. This room turned out to be a kitchen. He noticed the fridge was left wide open, but he thought he would grab a snack. Sid looked through the fridge. There was butter, milk, and beer bottles. There's gotta be something to consume in this damn floor, he grumbled in annoyance. He shrugged it off and grabbed a carton of milk and drank out of it. Sid then felt something plasticky fall on his lips. He moved the carton away from his mouth and found, yet again, another soldier. "Sweet! Another one!" he said gleefully. Sid put the soldier in his backpack for safekeeping and went back out to find another soldier. As he was looking around, he found a grayish glow coming through an unknown room. He became confused and worried, wondering what was happening. He slowly tiptoed to the grey glowing room, taking a couple of deep breaths. As he got to the closest, he peeked slowly and found a very decorated room. This room had so many Woody's Roundup memorabilia, plates, cereal boxes, bubble blowers, amongst others. That deceased man was Al McWiggin, Woody's kidnapper. He was the founder of Al's Toy Barn, and he tried to sell Woody and the Roundup gang to a toy museum in Japan. Wow, Sid said in astonishment. I never knew that wimpy cowboy doll had a lot of this junk. He then locked his eyes onto a television. It was showing a Woody's Roundup intro on a VHS tape, but the tape was damaged and the sound was missing. Sid felt the adrenaline about to kick into his nerve system, but he took a deep breath again and walked close to the television. This was a show? He pondered again, crawling to the TV screen slowly. Sid looked around the room, searching for another army soldier. After a short while of looking, he found another soldier in a blue plastic bowl of cheese puffs. Perfect! Guess those are all the army men I need for the night. The hell was that? Sid exclaimed, hearing the sudden crashing noise. He shone his flashlight all over the place and saw the TV had been pushed to the floor. How did that happen? Sid asked himself, getting frightened. Just then, a dark silhouette appeared from behind the desk that the TV sat on and walked next to a chair. Once the silhouette stepped from the shadows, that doll was Jessie. You're the doll that killed many people in this penthouse? Sid asked, stammering. Why, yes, Jessie replied. How did you know? I heard on the news, Sid growled. You may have seen that dead man on the couch earlier. His name was Al. He tried to sell me, Bullseye, and Woody to a toy museum in Tokyo. I also killed more people in this forsaken penthouse. You did what? Sid exclaimed in shock. Yep, you heard me. All right, Jessie replied with a devilish grin. I don't think I've seen you around, but you look like a vicious, stupid, selfish, nasty, repulsive little buttface. What the hell do you want from me, mad woman? Sid asked angrily. I'm gonna have to teach you a lesson like how I taught Al a lesson, answered Jessie as she tilted her head to the right. Jessie began walking towards Sid as he backed away. Get away from me, you crazy bitch! I have a flashlight and I am not afraid to use it, Sid growled. He raised his flashlight into the air, threatening to hit the demented cowgirl doll with it. Jessie continued to walk towards the 13-year-old until he bumped backwards into a wall. Jessie then ran towards Sid, climbed up his body, and began throttling him. How do ya like that? Take it back! Take it back! Jessie growled fiercely as she continued to torture the child. Take back what? Sid strained. Torturing my friend Woody, Jessie replied furiously. It was a mistake. I was abused a lot, so I took my anger out on dismantling random toys I saw. I regret it. Really, Sid cried, trying to reason with the abandoned cowgirl doll. Do you really think I'm stupid enough to believe that? Then why are you still wearing that disgusting skull t-shirt? Sid grabbed both of Jessie's arms off his neck, swung her around, and threw her towards a shelf of Woody's Roundup memorabilia, causing her to crash. To prove my manly taste in rock and golf culture! That's why! Sid yelled. Sid finally built up bravery to fight back against toys he feared, but he needed to escape the penthouse to bring the army men back home to inspect them. He ran out of the memorabilia room and found the elevator and pressed the down button quickly so Jessie wouldn't attack him again. As he was going down the elevator to skate home, Sid heard a wave of cars and trucks crashing, smashing into each other, and screams of people being murdered. Sid's face grew into shock once he reached the last floor. He ran out of the penthouse, and once he came outside, he saw a road accident. Lots of cars were smashed together, there was a wave of fire, smashed windows, and broken signs. Who? Sid stuttered, trying to speak clearly. Who could have done this disaster? He finally yelled. Sid then heard a conversation between an adult and a young child. Young boy, Are you okay? Yes, I wasn't involved in the accident. My family was murdered, though. My God, I have to call Child Protective Services. You can't live by yourself. Sid found a female witness and a young boy conversing. He went over to talk to the boy to reassure him. Hey, are you okay? Sid asked the boy. The boy turned around, rubbing his arm. Yes, he answered. The young boy had a scar through his eye, he had a cut on his arm, and a scratch on his pajama top. You don't look okay. You look hurt, Sid replied. My toy attacked me. That's how I got these wounds, the boy said. Wait, a toy attacked you? Sid asked in confusion. Yeah, he tried to kill me for no reason. He was Buzz Lightyear. Sid's eyes widened in surprise. Wait, you have a Buzz Lightyear action figure? The boy nodded, moving his arms away, revealing a Buzz Lightyear head on his pajama top. That boy was Andy. He survived the attack in his house. My name is Andy. What's yours? Andy introduced and asked. I'm Sid Phillips. Nice to meet you. What are you doing here? Andy asked. I'm just trying to solve a mystery on how those toys come to life and how they killed lots of innocent people, Sid replied. I want to know what happened to the rest of my toys, Woody, Buzz, and Jessie, Andy demanded. Who's Woody? Sid asked. My cowboy doll, Andy answered. Cowboy doll? I found him and Buzz Lightyear in a Pizza Planet game, brought them home, tortured them until that cowboy scared me for life, Sid told. Wait, you stole Woody? Andy asked angrily. Sid felt offended. What? No, I just found... Then that's exactly how he and Buzz went missing, isn't it? If I ever knew or saw you, my mom would have called the police. But she can't because she's dead, Andy exclaimed. I didn't mean to steal him, okay? I never knew he belonged to you. It was a mistake, Sid snapped, trying to reason with Andy. I used to torture my toys a lot because my dad abused me a lot, and that made me take my anger out on random toys, pretending that was my dad. Andy's face of anger melded into a sad frown. You had a terrible life? Sid began to shed a tear, struggling to not cry. Yeah. He was violent, he chirped. I never knew my father. He was never alive to see me, Andy mumbled, shedding a tear and rubbing his arm. Andy, is your father? Sid stuttered, but he didn't want to mention that last word, otherwise he would upset Andy more. Yes. I don't know what ever happened to him. He was never there for me. I don't even have a family anymore, Andy sniffled. Sid grabbed Andy's hand reassuringly. Hey, why don't you come and live with me so we can solve the case on what happened to those toys? Andy's tearful frown then grew into a partial smile. Okay, that's really nice of you, Sid, he spoke softly. Sid and Andy spoke to the witness about looking after Andy, to which she accepted. 8:30 p.m. They walked back to Sid's house so Sid could introduce Andy to the rest of the Phillips family. Sid, where have you been? Hannah asked in concern. Hannah, may I introduce you to Andy? Sid replied, showing her Andy. Hi, Andy spoke. Sid told his mother and sister all about Andy and how Andy's toys were alive. Fortunately for the two boys, they believed them. Miss Phillips told Sid that Andy could stay until he got a new family. Andy had to sleep with Miss Phillips or she can comfort him for the loss of his family and his toys. As Sid went to sleep, he had a feeling he would solve more mysteries behind those toys.